I'm just gonna say it. I think that Gavin Newsom and the mayor of LA need to resign. I woke up this morning, I was in a pretty good mood. Then I saw like what's going on in LA, like the fires. I thought it was just like a small fire, not a big fire. But then I heard from the news that the fire has gotten really out of control, and there was like something like acres and acres of land that's being destroyed at the moment. And for someone who has been in that fire here in Napa years ago, I know that this, just the way people feel inside, the people that are now feeling what I felt when I was in that fire a few years ago, I know what they're going through. It's like they are just reeling from the thought that you're gonna lose everything, and no matter what you do, you have no control over what you're going to have to do in order to stop this, because it's just going wild, it's just going fast. And within an hour, the fire was just acres and acres already in devastation. And the first thought that came to my mind is, how can you have a fire in California in the dead of winter, January, with winds that are just like out of control? There's no such thing. It's usually, you would think that when the fire starts, it would be in the summertime because there's drought, there's no water, but we just had a whole bunch of rain. So there's no possible reason why like the dried leaves would be so dry when we've just had water. We just had water from the sky, from heaven coming down. And my first thought was to pray for them, pray for these people. What about those people that, just like the 90-year-old couple whose house just went up in flames after living there for 65 years? I mean, I feel for those people. And there's a theory out there that says that this devastating weather is man-made, and I don't doubt that. I've seen enough proof out there that these weather are being manipulated by men, and it's been going on since the 50s, I believe. And when you're younger and you're carefree, you're not thinking about these things, there's no reason why you should be researching this. But as you grow older and you get wiser, you start to believe that there is something out there that's not normal. Because when I was living here in the 80s, and there has not been a whole bunch of fires going on, at least not this devastating fires that's occurring today. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse for this world, to be totally honest. But the fact that Gavin Newsom is pointing the fingers at the local government agencies that he says are supposed to be the ones who are in charge.
Even asked this question, but the person-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to the President of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide.
Yes, I understand that this is true, that local and federal agencies, especially in the statewide agencies, should be responsible to mitigate these things and to fix the things that are broken right now, especially going to the fire hydrant and you're not getting any water out. Like it reminded me so much of Maui, where they just didn't have any water and they didn't want to give water to the people whose houses are burning down. And I wasn't there, to be honest, but there's got to be something. There's two versions in every story, and the truth lies in the middle. So I am not doubting that these are, in nature happens, something catches fire, but I do not trust anything that the government is doing right now. I just don't trust it. I mean, when it comes to like the drones in New York, and how they could not explain what's going on there, and then these fires, and then the Maui fires, and the Paradise fires that happened here in Northern California, and the Napa fires. I mean, it just, there's too much. There's too much going on that who cannot question that there is something going on that's nefarious, that's more nefarious, and there's an underlying reason why these things are happening. Because in my mind, reasonably, in my mind, in the winter time when it's cold, how can a fire even start? How can you even start a fire? Yes, you can start a fire camping, but there's got to be like a flammable substance that have to in order to sustain that fire. Like if you're in a campsite, start the fire with just coal, charcoal, and all those things. Yes, it will sustain the fire. It will keep burning because you keep throwing dry wood onto it, but just reasonably. And if you're just a clear thinking person, how can a fire start and sustain in the middle of the dead of winter in January? It's like it's being just thrown in our faces. They're not even hiding it anymore. I mean, if you start a fire in the summertime, that's understandable. People will just be like, reasonably, yes, because it's summertime, it's hot. You know, when you start a fire, it doesn't have anywhere to go but to just keep going, right? And then to mitigate these fires, to begin with, to solve the problem so that these fires don't happen again, just like when President Trump, when he was still he was still president, when he was talking with Gavin Newsom, and I'll show you that.
Going on over the last little while, and I will say, I think you're going to have, hopefully this is going to be the last of these, because this was a really, really bad one. And I know Gavin's committed, we're all committed, I'm committed to make sure that we get all of this cleaned out and protected. We got to take care of the floors, you know, the floors of the forests, very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking at that, to that end, and it's going to...
It just makes sense that you gotta start thinking about how to solve this problem. If you are the governor of the state of California and you know for a fact the first thing that happens in the devastations, like Florida, it's the hurricanes. In the Midwest, it's the tornadoes. In California, it's the fires, it's the earthquakes. But earthquakes, you cannot really do anything except for just build the building so that it just sways. And that's been done. However, you got to figure out that the biggest problems in California is the fires right now. But for him to stand there and not say anything while Trump is saying, you know, we got to do this, and I know, and I have faith in Gavin Newsom that he's going to do the very best that he can. Has he done that? He has not done that. And to point the finger at local government agencies to fix this problem. No, you have to start with the person on top. And if you cannot handle that problem, the first problem is to fix the roads, the infrastructure, everything. And we have billions and billions and billions of dollars coming into California just with the taxes alone, and how they're gouging us with our taxes, and how they're gouging the Silicon Valley and all the tech companies who are still here, surprisingly, how they're gouging them with the taxes. Where is that money going? They said they're going to build a rail. Where is the rail? You know, it's a flop. Everything that he proposes and everything that he plans to do for California, flop. The smelts are like really tiny fish like this, and Why does he have to preserve those things? Why does he only have to satisfy one segment, one cultural segment of the state, when there's a bunch of people, the population of other cultures live in California? They're not, the Indians are not the only ones that I mean, they already took the lakes and the dams from Mount Shasta and from Copco Lake. They shut that down, and now it's just a river. Now they make those people happy. That's fine. But to dump millions and millions of gallons of water in the Pacific Ocean coming from the north, like Oregon and Washington, where it rains and it snows and all that water can be funneled into Southern California. Why did he stop it? Why did he dump all that water? You know why? Because it's money. We got a letter that said that if we go over a certain number of gallons per day for a family who lives in a house, for a 3-bedroom, whatever, you know, they have these specifications, that you're going to be fined if you go over the certain amount of gallons that you use every single day. So we're here trying to conserve water because we thought that the drought was causing all of this, you know, fires to be burning and not being able to maintain the vegetation so that it could be managed and it could be maintained so these fires don't happen, right? But no, he just is after money. The guy is literally demonic. He does not care about the people in California. He does not care about the people in America, and he wants to run for president. Excuse me? Excuse me? He's going to be the next Kamala, okay? He's going to be the next president, a candidate for presidency that's going to lose by the droves. I'm sorry. Gavin is not the person. Gavin, you are not the person that can maintain California. California is such a beautiful state. I would not want to live any other state because this state is just perfect. It's perfect. The weather is perfect. It's close to the ocean. We just everything is here. Okay, I don't want to have to move somewhere else, and I'm getting up there in age, and we cannot sustain life here in California. And I think that that's the reason why he just wants to phase everybody out. He's not gaining any monetary value. He's just phasing out, and that's tragic. That's tragic. I hope that God touches your heart, Gavin Newsom. I hope God just touches your heart, and I do not wish anything bad to happen to you where you're going to realize that you are so wrong about this. Step down, Gavin. Step down. The mayor of LA, just look at this.
Regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Nothing to say today? You absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
She was gone. She was gone to Ghana. She went on a vacation while all of this is going on. How convenient. How convenient. And what else is happening? And I'm not going to say it, but you guys could probably dive in and go down that rabbit hole and find out why all these places are burning down, which happens to be incongruency to the fact that Puff Daddy is in jail right now. I'm not going to say any more than that. You have the responsibility of going down that rabbit hole and finding out the reason behind all of this, why all of these things are happening, and why in LA, why in the area where there's the richest people that live there, the celebrities. You figure it out. You do your homework, as I did, okay? But I just want to offer you my opinion because this is just like, it's grating on my nerves right now, waking up and watching this while I know exactly what they went through. I had to evacuate my house during the time of the fire because I have asthma, and I saw the valleys just in a blaze. Okay, it's a blaze. And if you have two cars, forget about it. You can't drive both of them. One of them is going to have to burn down. And I chose my van because my van has all the amenities that I could, if I had to, I can live in it. And so I went towards the Antioch where my sister lives, and I had to stay with her for a few days until everything here died down. And when I came back, there's soot everywhere. We had to clean up everything. It was like a morgue. When you drive down the street, it was like a morgue. Everyone is just devastated with, and we didn't even get affected by the actual fire. The actual fire was over on the other side, and all around us, Calistoga, St. Helena, Sonoma, Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa was bad. And the vibe of the area is just downtrodden. And we were just devastated. You can still drive up in the mountains over there and see all of the trees and the burnt trees and everything. They can't burn us anymore because everything is burnt. Everything around here is burnt. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna pick another place where the areas where hasn't been touched by fires yet, and all the people that don't have insurance. Did you know that like 2 days or maybe a week before this fire happened, the insurance companies were canceling everybody's insurance, home insurance? Kind of scary. Where did they get the inside information to do that? Why? How are they doing that? How are they doing it? And if you call the insurance companies right now, if you're not grandfathered into an insurance policy, forget about it. They're not going to insure you. This is what we're going through here in California. This is how bad it is. I cannot wait till January 20th. I'm hoping that everything changes and let's turn California red, guys. I mean, hello, do you really want this to happen to you? Because it's not fun. Right now, if it hasn't happened to you and it happened to somebody else, the people who it happened to, yes, they're now realizing that maybe they're wrong, hopefully, okay? But just think about, just put yourself, be empathetic, put yourself in the shoes of the people who have now lost everything. They've lost everything. They have nothing, okay? It's so hard to rebuild your life. It's so hard to just move, let alone have to rebuild everything, rebuild your life into from dust to just the minimal necessary things to just live. Gavin Newsom owns a whole bunch of properties here in Northern California, and that's probably why nothing has happened here so much, but I mean, he owns a lot of properties here. He has 50-some thousand acres, whatever, here in Northern California. Why not let those people move here and just live here for free? I don't think he's gonna do that. That's my spiel. I hope you guys pray for people who have lost not the ones who can rebuild right away, because most of these people are rich. Most of these people have the money. But even though you do have the money, it's still such horrible way to have to rebuild from scratch. What about the people who does not have anything, they don't have anything. They've been living there, especially the older ones who have been living there forever. How the heck they're just gonna get up and go? What if they don't have so everything, okay? I'm just really frustrated right now and passionate about this. I prayed to God last night, and I know that this is not one of the things that he really wanted me to talk about, but I was praying to God, I'm in a stump, tell me what to talk about. And this just it just touched my heart today. It just lit a fire in me, because I live in California and I love this state. I left this state for a few years, and I said I will never ever leave this state again, because this is my home. This is my home. I've lived here for more years than I have in the Philippines when I moved here 18 years, 19 years when I moved here. I've been living here for more than 30 years. And I consider this my home. And for just all of these things to happen for no reason whatsoever, because of greed, it's just devastating. And you know what? And I'm a believer in everything that God can do. God is in charge, okay? God is in control of everything. He's gonna get these people who have orchestrated all of these things, whether it's human or subhuman or whoever, because God doesn't cause any devastation. He doesn't do that. It's sin, okay? The people who are responsible for doing this will pay for it. They will pay. They'll pay heavily. They will pay costs. It's going to cost them a lot. So that's, God will avenge us because God is good and God is our Father, and He will not let anything bad happen to us. So if the people in LA, the people who are now who have now lost everything, make their minds clear and their hearts open to Jesus and let Jesus in, so that Jesus can move it forward and fix it for them. And that's the only way you can really have a good testimony about having faith in Christ, because He's the only one that's powerful enough to do this. And that's all I can say about it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Pray for the Southern California, and pray that God will touch every heart that's right now going through all of these things, and that they open their eyes and see the light. Thank you, and have a great day. I love you so much. Happy New Year. Bye.